What is going on, guys, and welcome to a brand new video. And today we're going to be breaking down why Phantom Assassin has a 45.55% win rate. Now this is pretty much one of the lowest win rate carries in this current patch, and I'm going to be explaining what some of her best matchups are, which ones are bad for her, what you guys should be playing, and which heroes you guys should be playing with. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. If you guys do, leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think about Phantom Assassin as a hero in the current patch. So basically, one of the few issues Phantom Assassin has right now is that she has a really weak laning phase. She's never been a lane dominator. She's never been really that crazy at lane, but this patch she just feels really bad against some of the meta offlaners like Abaddon that don't really care at all about Phantom Assassin. These types of heroes definitely don't care what you do, and you're just feeding stick charges throughout the lane, which is pretty sad. Heroes like Bristleback, which have usually been pretty bad against Phantom Assassin, especially with a decent support, she could definitely win those lanes, but those heroes aren't really popular right now in the meta. That hero's pretty dead, and so is Phantom Assassin. Also, she takes forever to come online. You feel like you need to rush Battle Fury, but then you need to go back for the treads, you need to go for Desolator or BKB, and sometimes when you are forced to go Battle Fury and then you go BKB, it kind of feels bad because you do pretty much no damage. You're very dependent on your crits, which if you're blessed with the RNG, you could probably one-shot some people in the early game, which is absolutely crazy. These squishy supports could definitely die, especially when you're playing a minus armor strategy with heroes like Slardar. You can play with heroes like Bounty Hunter, which are always going to be very nice, and also Dazzle is very good in the lane. Also, heroes like Crystal Maiden just allow you to get a little more out of the lane, and you're going to have that extra mana sustain from the Crystal Maiden aura. But overall, most Battle Fury heroes right now are not very popular in the meta. They take way too long to come online, and they're just going to be farming for a really long time. Most of the lineups right now that are currently being played are insanely fast-paced lineups, and they will just run over your team. If your team can afford to play without you, you might be okay, but if your team is losing the team fights 4 versus 5, you're going to be struggling. It's going to be quite difficult because obviously you need those item timings. You need to get a Battle Fury, and for you to get a decent Battle Fury timing, you need to have a good laning phase. So you're very dependent on having a good lane. You're very dependent on having a good support that can provide the extra help and utility to secure a few kills, which will boost you in the early game and to the mid game. It'll help you push forward, but it's always not going to go your way. You're going to be facing different offlane lineups that are going to just definitely roll you over. You don't do very well in the jungle without Battle Fury. Even if you rush Tread's Desolator, it doesn't feel good because you just don't farm quickly enough, and if you lose enough team fights, you're just not going to be able to catch up against the hero that is buying Maelstrom or is also another Battle Fury buyer, which, like I said, they're not really meta right now. They could definitely be played. Like heroes like Anti-Mage see a little bit of play here and there, but they're not super meta. All these heavy farming heroes are not currently super meta. It's mostly about brawling and fighting early on and being able to take advantage of items like Mage Slayer, which Phantom Assassin can buy, but the fact that she needs the Battle Fury and the Desolator and the BKB, it makes it very difficult for this hero to go, let's say, first item Mage Slayer. It just doesn't feel good because the item doesn't really benefit PA and what she wants to do early on. Other heroes like Slark can definitely easily build Mage Slayer as a first item. They definitely benefit a lot more from the item. Some of the matchups Phantom Assassin is good up against and bad up against. So she's typically good up against heroes like Anti-Mage, Lone Druid, and Riki. Lone Druid has kind of fallen off grace. He is kind of like a mid-tier hero right now. He's not super strong. He's also not really weak. In the right Lone Druid game, he can definitely still snowball and take over the game, but most likely you are not seeing too many Lone Druids being played right now. It's currently sitting at about a 52% win rate last time I checked, so it's not insane, but it's also not very weak. It's definitely better than PA in terms of win rate, and a hero like Riki is actually running pretty rampant right now. He is quite strong right now, and he definitely can build Mage Slayer and does very well with the item. So Riki is definitely back in meta, and I kind of like it. Even though Riki is a very annoying hero, I definitely like it because it kind of changes the way you need to play. Playing against Riki is never fun, but I do like playing Riki myself, so I do like that he's back in the current meta. Phantom Assassin is typically bad up against heroes like Axe, Primal Beast, Nyx Assassin. These heroes make your life a living hell. Axe, because he's super tanky, he has Blade Mode. If he calls you, you're pretty much going to kill yourself. If you get one crit, especially a Desolator crit, you're going to kill yourself. And if you're in the late game and you have a Divine Rapier, you're pretty much going to one-shot yourself. It's going to be absolutely crazy. You're not going to be able to kill Axe. He's going to have so much armor in the late game. It's just very difficult for you as a right-click hero to deal with a hero like Axe who's doing pure damage on spin. You're killing yourself to Blade Mail, and it's just very difficult as Phantom Assassin to be locked down for so long. It just makes it very easy to get rid of you. A hero like Primal Beast can easily get up on top of you. He's not a amazing in the late game against Phantom Assassin because he could get one shot by her, even though he's kind of tanky, but he could definitely get one shot by her. But early on, he just runs over her. He does whatever he wants. If she doesn't have a support to blink to, it's just very difficult for you to get away. Pulverize does so much damage, and so does Trample. It's just a very tough matchup for the Phantom Assassin, and Primal Beast is usually being played from the mid lane and the off lane, so if it's a mid laner, he can definitely get aggressive with a rune and get a pretty free kill on a hero like this. And Nyx Assassin is just an assassin hero who's going to be hunting you all game, and you're never really going to feel safe, which really sucks because playing with a Nyx Assassin on the enemy team feels really bad as a Phantom Assassin because you never know when they're going to be there and they can easily kill you. Especially if it's a core Nyx Assassin, you will just die. They can easily E-Blade Dag on you and you will just die, and it just becomes very difficult for matchups like this. So definitely keep in mind the matchups for Phantom Assassin. Usually this hero is really strong in the late game, but you can't always depend that you're going to be able to get to the late game. Her break is obviously going to be very nice against heroes with passives that can be broken. It's always going to be nice because her shard is just quite strong. Her crit is always going to be either hit or miss. Sometimes you're going to get a crazy crit and you're going to one-shot a character you never thought you would, but sometimes you're going to be hitting forever and not get a good enough crit. So that's definitely hit or miss. It's very RNG based, so it could go good for you. It could also go very bad for you. But this hero just definitely needs a little bit more. I'm not really sure what she's missing in terms of what they can do to her to make her better, but I just think she's not strong enough. The fact that her laning stage is already weak, you're already feeding a ton of regen to the enemy team with stick charges, that's already a problem. And if your support is also a spellcaster as well, and they're casting a lot of different spells, you're feeding them infinite regen pretty much with a wand. It can become very difficult on some of these self-sustaining offlaners like Dragonite or Abaddon. They're going to have so much regen and sustain and protection that you're not going to be able to really do anything, and they're just going to bully you out of lane. It's going to make your life a living hell. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video and learned something about Phantom Assassin. What do you guys think in the comment section below on Phantom Assassin's current state in the meta? What do you guys think she needs to be back in meta? I'd definitely like to hear you guys' opinion. Leave a comment down below. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.